What's up, guys? I'm Justin with CBI and Prinsu. Today we're going to show you how to install our Prinsu Pro Rack on a brand new 2024 Landcruiser. Stay tuned. All right, so first step is we're gonna get everything unpacked and laid out how it's gonna install. We got our side rails, crossbars. Here's our hardware bag and our brackets right here. Once we get it all laid out, we're gonna start prepping our hardware for installation and then assembling the brackets onto the side rails. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so like I said, we got everything laid out really quick on these brackets. These are bolt on, and you're gonna notice that there's a 1 etched into 2 of those. Those are gonna go in the front, the 2s are gonna go in the middle, and the 3s are gonna go in the back. These are not side specific, so orientation doesn't matter there, as long as they're in the correct position from front to back. So again, 1s, 2s, and 3s, that's the order we're gonna install these in. All right, so we're towards the front of the rack. We're gonna install our number 1 brackets. So they just kind of recess in this inner side rail, and we're gonna use our 5/32 bolts to secure it into place. All right, so we got all of our brackets installed. Now I'm gonna start installing some of the crossbars. They're just gonna install in the smaller slots right here in the side rail. And we just wanna be careful that we don't install one over a mounting foot, just so we have all the room and in that location to install the bolt into the mounting foot. So we're gonna use the same 3/4 inch long bolts and start getting these installed. I'm gonna start in the middle here to bridge the 2 pieces together, and then I'll start working outward. All right, so now it's time to remove the factory rack, and you can see I've already done that. We have 3 mounting points on each side, and there's 2 bolts per mounting location. The mounting bolts are a 13mm socket to get those off. So depending on your trim level, you're gonna have different variety of roof racks. Ours had the Torx bolts with extrusion crossbars. Real simple, we just remove the Torx bolts and it kind of comes apart in pieces. You may have a rack that just has plastic covers with crossbars over these locations. Pop those plastic covers off and that'll expose your mounting bolts. Get everything removed, and now we're gonna start the installation of the Prinsu rack. So we're gonna take our rubber washers, pop them over these little plastic pieces, and then we're gonna install our spacers. Then we'll lay the rack down on top of these. Make sure you have some help. The rack is pretty heavy. Just have some help, come down and set it right on top of these spacers, and then we'll start sealing and threading bolts in. All right, so we got our Prinsu rack in place, sitting over all of our spacers. Now we're gonna take our included RTV silicone. We're just gonna fill up the inside of the spacer and then start threading bolts in. All right, so we got the rack installed. All the bolts are started. Now we're gonna go through and start tightening them down. We're using a 13mm wrench. Once we get them all tightened down, we'll work on getting the remaining crossbars in and the wind deflector installed. All right, so now we're gonna assemble our wind deflector down here on the floor. So we have our T-nuts that we need to slide in. I just kind of line up the silver crossbar with the wind deflector, flush up the end so we know kind of exactly where to slide in these T-nuts. When we slide these in, make sure the flush side is facing up. So we'll slide those in, put the wind deflector on here, line everything up, start all the bolts by hand, and then we'll come back and tighten those down with a 5/32 Allen. Lastly, we'll put on our noise reducing trim, flush up one side, work it all the way across, and then trim off the excess. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. As always, throw us a like, subscribe to see more videos like this.